On this week's season finale of Bayou Wild TV.
This thing has grown into just the best competitive yet social events that I know of. And that's what makes them so special.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Global Outdoors. Find your next adventure and share your experiences with others by downloading the Global Outdoors mobile app or visiting globaloutdoors.com. Every day, we strive to preserve traditions that have spanned generations.
Around every turn of the bayou, Mother Nature reveals unique people, places, and experiences.
And the bounty of animals and fish. Well, in Louisiana, we just call that lagniappe. I'm Don Dubuque.
I'm Chris LeCoq.
I'm Captain Martha Spencer. Join us as we document the adventure,
Sportsmanship,
and heritage that make us Bayou Wild. Welcome to this week's episode of Bayou Wild TV. And if the gas prices have got you concerned about running your outboard, we've got the answer. We're all about kayaks this week on Bayou Wild. We've talked about it time and time again, that paddlecraft fishing is indeed the fastest growing sport on the water. From local weekend warriors.
All right, this is what we got. Yeah, I think he's gonna be over.
To anglers from around the world.
这个周末过得很开心，很棒，美国的大鱼很好。
This weekend was awesome. I caught a lot of big fish. The fishery here is just awesome.
And even some of the most recognizable names in fishing.
This sport's about growing the sport, it's about getting new people involved, and it's about learning. And I'm going to learn a lot this week.
Louisiana waterways provide an endless labyrinth of marshlands to enjoy this popular sport. At the forefront of this pastime is an ever-growing group of passionate anglers known as the Bayou Coast Kayak Fishing Club.
When I started out with the Bayou Coast Kayak Club, there was basically 20 guys, and we pitched in some money and grilled some hot dogs, and we went fishing. And now we got over 500 paid members, and there's 7,000 on Facebook. If you want to learn about kayak fishing, it's a great place to get into it.
Bayou Coast it's really gotten to be one of the biggest kayak clubs in the country. It's a great organization to be around. There's a lot of good people here. We do a lot of 10% of all of our entry fees to all of our tournaments go to a charity.
It's not just a fishing tournament, it's an opportunity for us, especially after COVID. I forgot how great it is seeing some of these guys. I only really get to see sometimes 3 or 4 times a year, but as soon as I see him, it's like, that's my best friend. I hadn't seen him in so long.
Outdoorsmen, athletes, and parents know the importance of Florida water to stay cool. And whether you're on the water, on the job, at the gym, or on the ball field, keeping cool just got simple with Cool Blue products. Cool Blue refreshing face and body wipes are for everyone. Use them at home, at work, or at play to clean up, cool down, and stay refreshed. Find them at Rouse's supermarkets or online at coolblueproducts.com.
One of the reasons why Double D has been around for 50 years is because we are consistent with what built the business. And we go to great lengths to make sure that when you bring a deer or a hog or whatever it may be, your meat stays your meat all the way through the process. but we want to be as true to the original intent, which is a local meat company. And that's something that we want to maintain for as long as the Lord lets us do it.
In Louisiana, we live to cook, and we know a little Louisiana flavor brings any meal to life. Whether it's Friday's fish fry or Tuesday's crispy chicken, with Louisiana fish fry, you can turn any meal into a bona fide family favorite. Let's all Louisiana.
Continuing this week's episode, it's early morning in Plaquemines Parish. We're up with the sun, and so are the members of the Bayou Coast Kayak Fishing Club. This is a common ritual carried out weekend after weekend, where the enjoyment comes from much more than just fishing.
I got involved about 8 years ago. It was one of those times of my life, 40 years old, and had a new kid, and very stressful, having a lot of anxiety in my life, and some other friends of mine took me out. And it really changed my life. I got more involved. I got asked to be an officer, and we did some things with the other officers as far as changing some formats of the tournaments and bringing more excitement towards the end of the year, trying to bring more people in.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Next time I use the net. That was a decent one though.
I'm relatively new to Louisiana, moved from Texas, and it's awesome being able to go and explore and compete in different areas, a lot of which I've never even been to before. Yeah, I'd say a club as a whole, everybody is more than willing to share advice, where to go, places to avoid, what to do. And it helps to have a lot of friends in the club who are fishing the tournaments also. So you can, exchange information, and everybody kind of knows what's going on going into tournament day, because sometimes there's just no way you're going to do it all yourself.
Got him? You got him? Yep.
To me, that's always been kind of the most fun and challenging thing fishing in the club, especially in the championship series. So it's fun getting out, exploring, and going to check out new areas.
I got started kayak fishing because I wanted to get involved in the outdoors again, and like I did when I was a kid, and it just brought back so many memories. And in 2011, I won my first kayak tournament. Things changed for me at that point. As I began winning tournaments and having success, I found myself on a new stage. I was able to put it all together and win the world championship, and it was a life changer. When it comes to preparing for a tournament and getting down here, and you've done all this work, and you get down and everyone is tight-lipped, and they're not going to share as much as they would during the year. However, if you ask the right questions, you're still going to get excellent advice no matter what. And guys are still going to steer you in the right direction. I really appreciate the fact that if an angler is new, you're going to get even better information. You're going to get solid, good tips that work. You don't have to be a great angler, but if you do this for several years, you're going to become a very, very good angler no matter what. This thing has grown into just the best competitive yet social events that I know of, and that's what makes them so special.
When I first joined this club in 2005, it was just a handful of us, maybe 10 or 15, 20 people. It's since grown to about 400 plus membership. I was actually the first tournament director for the club. Before we had a club, actually, we had one tournament, and I think everybody had to come and drop off all their registration papers at my house. And my wife was like, who are all these crazy people showing up?
This guy just annihilated my top water. Oh, he's right next to the It's about 40. Pretty fun.
So all of our tournaments are slam formats, which means you have to catch a redfish, a speckled trout, and a flounder. You weigh those fish in aggregate. So you might have 10-pound red, a 5-pound flounder, and a 5-pound trout. You get 20 pounds. That would be an awesome stringer. I haven't caught one that big before, but I think we've had some in the club that are probably pushing 13, 14 pounds sometimes.
Emmett, reel him, baby.
Obviously I've got a lot of friends in this group, and probably more friends in my life right now than I've ever had at any point in my life. Good friends too. We talk, and this is not an exaggeration, every day. My wife says, no one talks fishing that much. And I said, we do.
Oh, yeah. Nice trout. You'll like it.
We got this championship tournament at the end of the year, which that's everybody's goal is to get to it, because it's not just the prizes, which are great, but really it's the experience of being down there with 40 people. We all know each other, we're all hanging out. It's kind of the end of the year thing. And that's why these tournaments, a lot of people say it's just a fishing tournament. To me, fishing is almost secondary to everything else we do.
I joined the club shortly after he got started. I think there was about 20 or 30 people there, and that was in 2006. Ever since we got the club started, I've been around, and I've been in a lot of different positions. I've been president a couple times. I've been vice president and tournament director 3 or 4 times. It's just a great organization to be associated with. Back in 2013, we had the first qualifier that I think Hobie ever gave an individual club, and we had about 287 people fish that tournament. I was lucky enough to finish first place in that tournament, and I got to go to Hobie World Championship down in Australia back in 2013. I got to go on an experience of a lifetime down to Australia, fishing with 45, 50 other anglers from all over the world. There's a lot of ladies that are joining the club now, and they have ladies divisions and senior divisions, and you just meet, you come to here and you don't even know anything about kayak fishing, and you meet friends and they teach you. It's just a whole mix of people, and you really make friends for life.
Prior to the kayak fishing, I used to fish in the boat division. I used to fish in the Louisiana Saltwater Series, but in a boat. So switching from the boat to a kayak is like a whole different world. It's a lot harder, a lot more work. It wears you out, but it's so much fun. You're a lot lower to the water, but it's great. I love competitive fishing, and it just gives me that natural high, especially when I get a good fish on.
All the work we put in to host a great event, and basically it's a big party for 160, 170 people. We cook, we drink, we eat, we laugh, we fish. The fishing's secondary to everything else.
Catch, tag, win. If you like state management of red snapper and want to help ensure longer red snapper seasons, there's now a tournament for you. The Timau's Tag It Louisiana Red Snapper Tournament is a summer-long tournament for you, the Louisiana ROLP holder. Catch a snapper, snap a picture, and you're entered. It's that simple. Enjoy fishing, help contribute valuable data for red snapper management, and win prizes. Visit tagitla.com.
This is one of the latest inventions for high-tech seafood boiling. This is called the Boil Boss. It's a pretty simple apparatus. What this does is it does not dilute the strength of your boil. So your salt and your spices still remain real potent in there without putting a lot of extra water. The Boil Boss, wonderful invention.
We love our children. We protect them. We guide them. We prepare them for life in the world. With all that we do, from deep in our hearts, we cannot control all things. Life-threatening illnesses and disabilities affect far too many of our children each year. While we cannot change the circumstance, we can make dreams come true. Dreams to provide hope, to provide spiritual healing and strength, to provide moments of happiness and relief in the hardest of times. We can give a glimmer of light and hope in a time of darkness and despair. Join huntofalifetime.org to help make dreams come true, to provide hope for children with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Hunt of a Lifetime is a nonprofit organization fulfilling dreams for hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Visit huntofalifetime.org to learn how you can make a difference.
Welcome back to Bayou Wild TV. We're here with Chef John Folse at White Oak Plantation in Baton Rouge. And you know, it's been a long winter and people just really enjoy making soups and stews. We've talked a lot about Italian food here before, but we're gonna make a dish that is actually a French dish that is mistaken for an Italian dish.
Absolutely, you're so right. That's a great descriptor there, because everybody thinks that this wonderful ratatouille it comes from Italy. But it comes from Nice, it comes from the coast of France, and again, dependent a lot on seafoods and shellfish. But the greatest thing about this dish is that it's a dish especially designed for big families, gatherings, an outdoor table.
Maybe that's where the Italian part came in.
Well, but yeah, it's kind of one of those dishes that's so typical of Louisiana too, because we love to sit around a big table outside with all these things, and it's more about talking than cooking.
So what we're doing today is a crawfish ratatouille, because of course that is our main dish here in Louisiana. You know, there's over 1,300 crawfisher farmers in Louisiana.
Absolutely.
It's a multi-million-dollar industry.
$300 million a year. I mean, it's incredible. So, yeah, so we have a little, and of course you can use olive oil in this because you're coming from France again with this dish. And so many of our great dishes here in Louisiana originated in both Italy and France. So, I mean, very typical of big family eating as well, and not necessarily that expensive, because they're fishing as well. They're getting their own crabs, their own crawfish, so it's kind of like free food for them.
Absolutely.
Okay, my cast iron pot is kind of smoking away, and it's yelling at me right now, saying, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. So go ahead and put in our vegetables. We have celery, we have, what's that, a little garlic, and
onions.
Yeah, onions, and you know, people constantly say, well, Chef, what about, should I add onions to it? How much onions do I put in? I said, you know what? Just throw it till you're happy.
Yeah,
you know?
That's the great part about pot cooking, is it's a little loose on the recipe on what you want.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now I'm going to saute that until that garlic, I don't want to burn the garlic, but I definitely want to get that garlic roasted in that olive oil.
So pretend you're making a roux, but just with olive oil and garlic.
And once you start to get that browning in it like that, you want to back away.
Fast,
It happens pretty fast. The garlic will get bitter. Let's go ahead and throw in all of those pretty, look at those colors there, the tomato, red, again, colored peppers of France, right? Going into the pot.
And Ratatouille is commonly thought of as the Disney movie with the rat, but this is actually a slang term for chunky stew.
Chunky stew, that's what ratatouille is. And you know, another thing...
No rats involved in this recipe here.
Well, I don't know, at some point in time in the French Revolution, you know. Again, I think of these dishes as very eye-appealing, you know. They're simple, they're country, there's no sophistication about it, but yet it's beautiful to the eyes. And we say you eat with your eyes
You
first,
absolutely
right?
do. Although my nostrils are doing a pretty good job right now also.
So I'm having my really nice, nice flavors kind of swirling around in here a little bit. Now let's go ahead. I have another group of, now this is a vegetable stew, needless to say, so let's look at the vegetables that we have.
But these vegetables look like they, you know, they're a little heartier.
Yeah, well, this right here, we have
Eggplant?
we have our eggplant that's been peeled. We have our mushrooms, our portobellos, and then of course we have our squash. But what you want to think about here is that any vegetable goes. I mean, there isn't any particular, you know, rules in this cooking. In the pot again, what you're seeing is simplicity. It looks like a very expensive dish in modern cooking, but in their days, every family had a garden. The neighbor was coming over with mushrooms because they couldn't use them. Now I'm going to come in with my jumbo lump crab. Use anything. You know, whatever seafood you have, just combine it in there. Add a little meat if you need to. Add the seafood last, as I'm doing here. You don't want to overcook it. You just want to warm it a little bit, right? And then with that, I'm going to go ahead and add the pasta. Now this is a layered dish. I'm just mixing everything together. At home, if you have family coming and you really want it to be special, take your time and layer it all really nicely like we've done in our finished dish here. But look at all those beautiful flavors on that plate, huh?
All right, so here's your serving. Here's my serving.
I'll tell you what.
I'll take this.
Where's my fork?
We're going to go find some silverware. We've made some crawfish or ratatouille. Good for everybody.
Simple, simple dish, y'all. Cook it.
Delta Marina is Plaquemines Parish fishing one-stop. Get live bait, fuel, ice, tackle, and marine supplies. Then launch into the world's most productive saltwater fishing. Return to the fishing cleaning station, relax in first-class cabins overlooking the bayou, all in Delta Marina's safety video-monitored parking lot. Need a fishing charter guide? Delta Marina can hook you up. Cook your catch in your kitchenette or dine in the upstairs restaurant. Visit Delta Marina for a day or a week. Stop in just off Highway 11 down Rosemary Drive in Empire. Visit thedeltamarina.com.
When you're hungry and you need something quick to do, try Uncle Larry's Stew in a Few.
You know Uncle Larry, he's my man. He's got stew in a few. He's loading his van, we'll have stew in a few.
Stew in a few.
We'll have stew in a few.
Stew in a few.
Just call Uncle Larry and we'll have stew in a few. What you say over there?
Outdoorsmen, athletes, and parents know the importance of Florida water to stay cool. And whether you're on the water, on the job, at the gym, or on the ball field, keeping cool just got simple with Cool Blue products. Cool Blue refreshing face and body wipes are for everyone. Use them at home, at work, or at play to clean up, cool down, and stay refreshed. Find them at Rouse's supermarkets or online at coolblueproducts.com. For many, kayak fishing has been a means to keep a much more simple approach to enjoying the outdoors, all while honing in on competitiveness and building friendships that will last a lifetime.
Oh, it's the best. It's my home. I've been fishing since I was 2 years old, and I could just remember going with my dad, and I got it in my roots, and it's what I've always loved to do, and it's my joy, it's my passion, and it's my #1 hobby, and I can't wait to go every time.
And I mean, you meet people and they become your best friends. You call them, you go fishing with them, you do things with your families together. I mean, it's more than fishing. It's a place to really meet some great people that share a passion for fishing, but also just a passion for life.
It's been for several years now that kayak fishing has been the fastest growing element of the sport, and maybe now, more important, quicker growing than ever. And it's one of the many reasons we continue to share this adventure, sportsmanship, and heritage of Bayou Wild.